This is my home at the southern tip of Africa. This place is special to me because it's the origin of our species, where we first lived in harmony with animals. My name is Anna. I've studied the ancient skills, and I'm so passionate about awakening a sense of communicating with animals in us modern humans. I am dedicating my life to this because I believe that humanity is suffering from a great separation sickness, a real disconnect from nature. My sense is that by understanding animals more deeply, we can begin to heal ourselves. This is now my life. I talk with animals, and they talk back to me.
I first met Anna Breytenbach through a troop of wild baboons. My name is Swati. I'm a conservation journalist. I've often reported on this particular troop of baboons living on the fringes of Cape Town. They're constantly stealing food and breaking into cars. I've been jumped on by a big male who did not like me stopping him from getting into my car. Most people just don't know how to behave around wild animals, and this leads to more conflict. Yet, on that first day I met Anna, she walked easily amongst them, although she had never been around this troop before. This particular group of baboons is quite aggressive because of all the human interference in their lives.
When the alpha male returned after a while, I was lying down almost asleep. It was the alarm call of one of the females next to me that alerted me to his presence.
When I saw the big male approach with all the babies around Anna, I was sure she was going to be attacked. I have seen this big male attack people he thinks are a threat to the young baboons. But that's not what happened.
He stood cross-legged in front of me, looking down at me with a very inquiring look of evaluation. And I had the question fall into my mind as his question, which was, "Who are you?" with a slight air of suspicion. I simply projected to him that I was there peacefully, just in a state of being, and right away he accepted me. And the alpha male kept on looking at me, and I got the distinct silent impression in my head from him, saying, "Seeing as you wanted to be with us, then do as we're doing and dig with me." And so I did. The way they were looking at me, particularly the alpha male, was with almost an appealing sense that I help humans understand who they really are. And there's a sense of confusion and sadness amongst them for the degree to which they're completely misunderstood. And the conflict with people is injuring and killing the baboons. This young male had his hand and his tail cut off in a trap when he was a baby. This female had her right hand cut off by a trap, and she lost her second baby as a consequence. This female was shot on a ledge and she fell, losing her left hind leg. And this female had her right hand crushed by a gin trap. And the big male who used to raid cars has since been shot for being considered too aggressive. And this is the pain of just one troop. Sometimes being a human bridge between non-human animals and my kind is difficult. I see both sides of that bridge. And the two pictures don't match up with each other.
Many of the trapped and injured baboons are taken to this rehabilitation center where they get lifetime care and sometimes even regrouped into new family troops. Anna's work has been critical to this process of regrouping.
When baboons are brought here, they are often housed in small groups at the main enclosures. Paul was one of these baboons. He'd been with two females for a few years. When I asked Paul if he would like to join a larger troop or stay in his current situation, he said he wanted to join a bigger group. I then communicated with the two possible troops he might be able to move into, one of which agreed to take him in.
Adult male baboons never enter a new troop unless they're trying to challenge the existing alpha or steal the females. And so it was surprising to see how quickly Paul was welcomed instead of being attacked or killed.
One of my favorite animals at the sanctuary is this wise old baboon who has lost much of his sight after having one eye knocked out by a brick thrown at him and damaging the other in a fight. He can never be set free. I always bring him some cuttlefish from the sea, as he seems to savor the memories it brings him of his past life as a wild baboon on the coast. This gentle baboon has inspired me to help captive and wild baboon populations be better understood by humans.
I wondered if there were any scientists studying the idea of animal communication. Matthew Zulstra is doing his PhD at the Stellenbosch University in the Western Cape. I wanted to see what a scientist would make of Anna's ability to communicate with such big, powerful animals like baboons. I took them to the mountains of Scarborough, outside Cape Town, where there is conflict between the wild baboon troop and people. This makes the baboons quite hard to approach. This area is also vast, making it difficult to locate the animals as they could be anywhere on the mountains. Anna was not familiar with this area, and I knew it would be a challenge just for her to find them.
I sent out a silent message in words in my mind without using my voice, addressing the baboon species and letting them know that I was coming. I didn't look around for any physical signs. After a few moments of that, I opened my eyes again and just allowed my body to move in the direction that I felt drawn to, almost like an internal sort of radar for baboon energy.
And she found the truth. What happened next was really remarkable. She seemed to be communicating with the baboons as they walked right up to her, ignoring Matt and me.
you ask me, how does science explain this? I also think of of how it must have been for people back in the 17th and 18th century, and they used to see lightning, but if you ask them, do you believe in electricity, they would have said no, not at all. I mean, they would have laughed at you. And maybe what we're seeing now with Anna is being back in the 17th century and seeing lightning. What I know is that my belief systems and everyone's belief systems are formed over the course of their life. And these belief systems filter how we see reality. And we use these belief systems and our perceptions to edit out the stuff that we're not comfortable with. And I think that's what happens in situations like this. We almost cannot help but letting our belief systems sort of edit out the things which we don't feel comfortable with. But on a personal level, I feel profoundly touched, and my scientific curiosity is awakened to really want to understand this phenomenon much better. Because I don't feel this is just about communicating with animals, as amazing as that might be. But the essence here is about sustainability, and about how we as humans can find a way to meaningfully reconnect ourselves with the rest of the living planet.
The extreme disconnection of humans is something that we see in the destruction of nature at the hands of mankind. We see devastating fires. We see urban areas encroaching into wild lands. We see our oceans being poisoned by toxic chemicals and the results of that. And we only seem to care about it when it affects us really, really badly. Perhaps that is too late. Most of us have had a relationship with a domestic pet at some point in our lives. But whether it's a domesticated or wild animal's eyes that we are looking into, how can we not see an intelligence and a being in there? How can we not know that they have thoughts and feelings?